One of the greatest adventures in life is finding that special someone, that partner that you want to spend the rest of your life with. I recently celebrated my 15th wedding anniversary with my wife, Lori, and for Justin and Alexis, in them, they had found each other's soulmate. So they did like any happy couple will do that's wanting to be together forever. They started to plan their wedding. And amongst the plans they made was hiring a videographer. They decided on Copper Stallion Media, a company out of Dallas, Texas, and the company looked like they could handle all the needs, all the desires they had to make their special day, to make those memories that would last forever. Justin and Alexis put down an $1,800 deposit on the videography services, and they went about planning the rest of their special day, and they could not wait. What should have been one of the happiest years of this young couple's life was completely shattered when on February the 4th of 2020, Alexis was tragically killed in a car accident. Horrible things happen in life. You never think it's going to happen to you. And for Justin, it did. After a period of grieving, unfortunately for Justin, he had to get back to the realization that life keeps going. And he had the horrible task of having to reach out in his grief to these vendors that he and Alexis had contracted with to cancel their reservations, to get back deposits, etc. Every company, of course, felt immense remorse, sadness for this young couple, sadness for Justin at losing the love of his life, had no issue with refunding the deposits. All except for one. And if you said Copper Stallion Media, well, you're right. But that isn't even half the story. Roughly 2 weeks after Alexis's death, Justin had reached out via email to Copper Stallion to go ahead and cancel the date and to get back the deposit, the $1,800. Now, it should be said the deposit was non-refundable, which is pretty standard for the industry and was standard for a lot of the vendors that had been used. But decency and care for your fellow man has to come in at some point. And there are extenuating circumstances. And I'll argue that all day. And plus, the publicity that would be gained from understanding and being there in a time of crisis for a customer is going to well outweigh that $1,800. Copper Stallion replied to Justin's email with a polite reply, but one also stating they would not be giving back the non-refundable deposit. Justin, in turn, emailed the company back, said, "You are the first vendor to say no to this. You do realize that this will carry with it and some sort of online presence, i.e., there's going to be some backlash against the company, and understandably so." Instead of backing down, Copper Stallion went on the offensive.
A wedding photography company refuses to refund a Colorado Springs man after his bride-to-be died in a car crash in February. Now, Copper Stallion Media is under fire for its callous response.
They said they'd extend my service to my next wedding, which was a very insensitive thing to tell.
Not only would they, again, continue to deny over and over the request for refund, they would start justinmontney.com, where they detail the email exchanges that I talked about. They talk about what the allegations were from Justin. They also show quite a few Yelp reviews. They got the 1 star. Their Facebook page started being inundated with low reviews. That is typically going to happen when you do something in this day and age of the internet. When you upset enough people, they had to know that's what was coming. All this to avoid giving this grieving man an $1,800 refund.
In one social media post, the company wrote, quote, "We hope you sob and cry all day for what would have been your wedding day." And in response to Alexis Wyatt's mom, the company wrote, quote, "Non-refundable means you cannot get your money back, even from the grave."
They should have been able to do, because they didn't render any services.
So currently justinmontney.com is there, but the official Copper Stallion page is not. They did have their main page redirecting to the justinmontney.com page, and of course their Facebook page is still up, but their actual website results in this. So you may already be thinking about this as well, but the next question that we have to ask, who owns Copper Stallion Media? Who is behind this? And when we understand that, it gets a whole lot more interesting. Looking at addresses held by the Copper Stallion Media Company, it points back to this man, Jesse J. Clark, who was in Massachusetts sued by 90 couples for videography services that he did not render. Upon agreeing to a $400,000 settlement, Jesse would flee Massachusetts.
He essentially fled Massachusetts with a number of warrants, and the state attorney general got a civil judgment against him and also an order that he couldn't do business in Massachusetts.
Mr. Clark owes nearly $100,000 just to 4 clients, and although he says Copper Stallion and him have no affiliation, again, records to the addresses prove different, as well as a since deleted bio on his Facebook, which links him with the company.
Law enforcement needs to get involved. It's not a civil thing. It's not somebody who's a bad business person. It's a person who's intentionally making up these names, who's intentionally hiding money, intentionally moving his assets.
So what started out as a dispute over $1,800 after a tragedy has shown Jesse J. Clark to be a criminal mastermind who has perpetuated fraud on hundreds of victims across multiple states, and he needs to be brought to justice. And I hope law enforcement will intervene soon.